first question, when you had showed us the Bhagavad Gita, is that just the general Bhagavad Gita, or is there like different, like, is there other versions of the Bhagavad Gita? You know what I'm trying to say? That that dial in on it specifically what you want us to pick up on, or because I have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita and I just want to make sure that I have the right one, or if I need to go out and get these other two. And the second question was with the Raja.
Let me answer that one first. That way, because my mind these days, I've been that way I give you the best answer. To answer that question, okay, so this is how I ended up not paying as much attention to the Gitas 6 or 7 years ago, because I had this copy of the Gitas that was a translation by another cat. There's a lot of translations because this book was in Sanskrit, and so it had to have a translation to come into the English world. And so when I read that one, oh man, I was asleep. Like, I mean, it was really boring. Like, it was like, and it was also like they were trying to preserve a lot of the Sanskrit. So they were just saying the Sanskrit words in place of breaking down the real concept of the word to try to get you to understand what's being said. So absolutely, this version of the Bhagavad Gita, which is mentioned even in the foreword, that some are more poetic, some versions are more poetic. They try to lean towards the spiritual aesthetic more. So there's different ones, but this one is about ascension. This one is about actually the condensed versions of what the language is revealing coming back into English in a method of where you would understand as an advanced metaphysician. See, like, this is metaphysical terms. It even increases your vernacular and your overall lexicon of the awareness of what is the difference between certain energies, like vidya. That's clear, real clear sight and vision about what's going on. So you see everybody has a perspective and they're seeing parts of the truth, but are they seeing vidya, which is like the real, the unadulterated, the clear, the one that is the actual. So in English, we don't have differentiations like that in our spiritual teachings. It's either you see or you don't. But what's mentioned here is which is very important, is how you can partially see. And that's how you can catch the mind, because you can see that the mind does have a way to bring a quasi-spirituality over the consciousness. But it has a limit to what it can really achieve. And you start being able to see those limits very clearly. And then you realize, man, I need to head back in the other direction. The mind's external venture into trying to actually come into consciousness that way, it won't make it completely on the journey. And then you're able to bring things back in. So go ahead with that last question about the Raja I heard you mention.